YouTube, we're here, and we're top tier. We got Duel level max, let me look the volume, with Madolche. That's right, max rank Duel level. Day 1, 9:27 a.m. EST, and we have gotten it. I'm going to show you, some replays of this deck. You're going to get to look at some hot replays. And yeah, we'll take a look at it and we'll see exactly the plays we made. So let me show you. I'm going to go into replays. And I'm going to discuss the deck first. And I'll show you the combo. So here we go. Alright. So we got, let me go over the monsters first. First is Madolche Madolche. This came in an old box. It came inside Dimensional Wizards. You need 3 of it. On summon, she searches any Madolche monster from your deck to your hand. You are going to be searching your copy of Petting Sasor 99.9% of the time. Alright, so that's the main thing. Petting Sasor is very broken. What she does is, if you have no monsters in your graveyard, you could special summon her from the hand. And then when you special summon her, you could special summon the Madolche from your deck, but decrease its level by 1. You're going to summon your Pudding Sis, which is level 5. And then when you summon her, she becomes level 4, and then you get to make your combo happen. Summoner Monk helps you make combo, but it's a little bit less consistent than something like Petting Sasor would be. And I mean, a little bit less, not less consistent, but less optimal than Petting Sasor Mageline. So that's something you need to know. Hoot Cake is another way to initiate combo, but it's a lot slower. It's not that good. So that's why we don't run Labyrinth Builder to do it. Next, we run Labyrinth Builder could initiate this combo, but we don't run it because it's very slow and it doesn't really make for a good field at all. Next, we have 1 copy of Meteorology. So if you don't know what Meteorology does, Meteorology on search while you control Beast Monster, you get to add a Beast type Madolche. You get to add 1 Madolche spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So if you summon him and you control Hoot Cake basically, or Muful, but we don't play Muful or Croissant, those cards are not good. We get the special summon out our Meteorology. We have a Beast on the field type Madolche, and we search Ticket, Chateau, or Knights. Now, on top of that, we are playing a selection of spell and traps. Cosmic to trigger Switcheroo. Chalice, which can negate things like Photon Lord and Goki monsters like Master Ogre. We also have Chateau in the deck and Ticket. These cards are fantastic. Chateau, if you don't know what it does, all Madolche monsters gain 500 attack. All Madolche monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense. And when it's activated, shuffle all Madolches in your graveyard into your deck. But the main effect here is the attack gain, as well as anytime Madolche would be returned by the card effect of a Madolche monster, you can add it to your hand instead. So that's really good. I should say monsters in your graveyard, because there's some cool things you can do with hand traps with this deck as well. Madolche Ticket. When a Madolche card is returned from your hand, or from your graveyard or field to your deck, main deck, you can special summon or add a Madolche monster from your deck to your hand. The special summon only occurs if you control a fairy type Madolche. So that would be your Pudding Sis, your Petting Sasor, or any of your Madolche Exceeds. So those are very important. Now on top of that, we run 3 copies of Magical Mallet, and I cannot believe I'm saying this. You play this helps you draw into your copy of Mageline. Think of this as like Water Exceed, right? But it's a -1. However, the advantage you get off the 1 Mageline is insane enough to make this work. And Knights does is when you have no Madolche monsters in your graveyard, you can activate this. When your opponent activates a monster effect, negate it. So this doesn't care where it activates. It could be negating a Goki in the grave. It could be negating a card in hand like Swirl Slime. It could be negating a Headbat in hand. This card is fantastic. It can negate from any place or anywhere. It does not just need to be the field. Now on top of that, we're also playing 1 Link Disciple to out Ibli. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. On top of that, we're playing 3 Madolche Exceeds, and you need to listen to me carefully when I tell you what they do. First is Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle. So what Glass Souffle does is a fairy exceed, takes 2 level 4 Madolches. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card. Target a Madolche monster on the field. It's unaffected by monster effects. So that means they cannot pop it with Photon. Any of their Galaxy cards cannot pop your Madolche monster that you target. Also, it has a second ability. In a separate chain, if Madolche cards are sent to your graveyard while this card's on the field, you can target monsters in either player's graveyard. 2 monsters in either player's graveyard. I should say 2 cards, not monsters. In either player's graveyard, shuffle them to the deck. So you can even shuffle in your opponent's Metalfoes Fusion. If they were coded alive, that's a card you can shuffle in. With Galaxy, there's an odd interaction I'm going to talk about. So the thing is, when they use Exceed Galaxy, that dumps it via skill. So they activate to revive, you're not going to be able to shuffle in the deck. And the reason why, unlike DD Crow, is because the revival, the shuffle in the deck, the effect of shuffle in the deck triggers a separate chain. So you won't be able to do that. However, they set a card first, or they summon Wizard after that, you immediately shotgun Glass Souffle. If they give you a window, shotgun it. On top of that, we're playing Chocolala mode. So Chocolala mode is a rank 5, but you can also exceed that, summon this by ranking up any level 4 Madolche Exceed. While this card has Pudding Cess as material, you can target 1 Madolche monster in your graveyard. It must already be there. Shuffle in the deck, detach a material, and then you get to special summon a Madolche monster from your deck. This is not a once per turn. It is a soft once per turn. So if you have multiple ways to shuffle things in, whether that be like Chateau or Tiara, you can use this more than once. But its self-trigger effect that would allow it to detach a material to target a Madolche and shuffle it in, that's a soft once per turn. But the special, that's a hard once per turn. But the special summon from the deck is not. So you need to be very careful with that. Okay? So that's very, very important. Alright. So on top of this, we have... well, they're actually both soft once per turns, but we don't run 2 Pudding Cess in the deck. That's why I say it's hard. So what do you mean by me saying it's hard, but not? Well, it's hard essentially because we're not going to run 2 Pudding Cess. If you manage to get like 2 Pudding Cess attached to 2 Chocos, you can do it. But yeah, that's not going to happen. Alright. So next we have Madolche Queen Tiara Masoon. This is a UR, it's a UR for a reason. Takes 2 level 4 Madolches once per turn. Detach 1 material. Target up to 2 Madolche cards in your graveyard. Shuffle those into the deck. And then shuffle in 2 cards your opponent controls into the deck. That is a non-targeting effect. So that means that your opponent has to respond immediately when I activate this effect. And if I have a card, and in order to trigger Queen Tiara, we must have a card in our graveyard. So you must have a Madolche target in your graveyard prior to activating Queen Tiara. You cannot have no cards in your graveyard. You have to have material. And then you can trigger your Queen Tiara Masu. So very, very powerful card. Kind of like Lumina is in Lightsworn. Now you have to have a target in the grave in order to do it. So that's really good. Alright, enough with that. Let's get on to the combos. And replays. Okay, so this is against my good friend Scorp. He's a top tier player, Scorpion. And I'm going to show you the plays we make. This is against Mech Knights. Now I'm going to keep the volume low, so that way you can see. Alright, so we got a really good hand here. So he goes into a Swap Cleric. He's going to link it to Link Disciple. Activate Link Disciple, Swap Cleric, Special Summon, out the Purple Nightfall. Then he's going to go into his Blue Sky, make his Morning Star. Discard, add World Legacy Secret. And summons Indigo. So this is really good, right? And here we go. Alright, we're going to summon Madolche. Up, here comes the skill drain. We'd say no. Cosmic will banish. And we're going to search Penixasaur. Since we have no... Okay, we're going to Mallet first. Try to dig for another Cyclone. And we do not find one. Switcheroo. Again. Mallet. Again. This is getting crazy, right? Now we're going to special summon out Penixasaur. Penixasaur will allow us to go into Pudding Cess. He books. I don't know about that. He's protecting his Morning Star, but Now I can go full combo. Now we rank up in the Chocolala mode. Activate Chocolala mode. We're going to go ahead and spin that in. Activate Choco. Summon out Hookake. Activate Hookake. Banish the special summon out message Gelato to search the Madolche Knight. We're going to set Knights, which is our negate. Now we're going to attack. He's going to force him to move it, and now he goes. Now he goes Purple Nightfall. We're not going to negate Nightfall because then he'll be able to lethal us with a Galaxy package. Then he's going to special summon the Blue Sky. We're going to say no. We're going to negate that right off the bat. Now he's going to go ahead and make Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn will shuffle in the Chocolate mode. Now we activate the effect of our Chateau. Add it back to the hand. And now we're ready to make plays. We top deck a Hookake, but it doesn't matter. We just summon the Madolche, normal summon, and with Knights in our grave, we have a target. Remember what I said we needed a target, a Madolche card in the grave? Yeah, now we have one. So now we can detach, non-target spin, up to 2 cards our opponent controls. He's going to add his Red Moon, but it does not matter. We are going to shuffle in his Nightmare Unicorn, and just like that, Mech Knights have been defeated. So again, we managed to bait him into activating the wrong back row, but it worked out anyway for us. Now, this is another Mech Knight replay I'm going to show you. Okay, so here we go. Bandit Keith here. We are going to go. Now, summon Madolche, activate Madolche to search our copy of Petting Sensor. Petting will go ahead and special summon itself and a copy of our Chocolala mode. I mean, not Chocolala mode, our Pudding Cess to rank up in the Chocolala mode. Now, here's the combo. Alright, now, I didn't go over this in the first video, but I'm going to show you the combo. Alright, so the combo is, we're first going to summon Madolche. After we summon Madolche, Madolche searches your Pudding Cess. Now, once you search your Pudding Cess, you activate her effect that summons from the hand. So you're going to special summon her. After special summoning your Petting Sensor will trigger and then activate its effect to summon the Madolche in the deck. That's going to be your Pudding Cess. Then you're going to exceed summon using your Petting Sensor, Pudding Cess to make your Teacher. After you make Teacher Glass Souffle, you're going to rank that. You're going to activate Glass Souffle's first effect to detach to make your Glass Souffle unaffected. Now, do not trigger a second effect to shuffle a Madolche in the deck, because otherwise you will not be able to trigger Chocolala mode. You need a target in the grave to be able to shuffle a card in the deck with Chocolala mode. And this is where we are now. So we use Teacher to detach Petting Sensor, so we have the target in the grave. If you activate her second effect, then you're going to put her in the back of the deck, and it's not going to be good, because then you won't have a target. The only exception to this rule is if your opponent has targets in the grave. So, for example, if you go second against something like Code Talkers and they have Coded Alive, go for it, because then you can put that back in the deck. Now we're going to trigger Chocolala mode, put back that monster. Now, another thing I want to point out is that it has to go to the main deck. So you cannot shuffle back in like Glass Souffle, Tiara, or another Choco and get the effect. The target you shuffle off Choco, the special, has to go back to the main deck. So that's why we put in Petting Sensor. Now we go into Message Gelato. Normally here in Master Duel we go into Angeli, but we do not have Angeli. Okay? Normally you would go Angeli Tribute Summon Hookake, but we don't have that. Now we're gonna go Mallet. We're gonna shuffle in 2 cards because I want to get another attack. And we're just gonna set 2, and we're gonna make our Glass Souffle. So what do we end on? Well, we end on Glass Souffle, Hookake, a Negate with Knights, a Cosmic, and a Choco follow-up. We also, if you're gonna probably say, well, what happens after that? Well, after we summon Hookake, we banish the Glass Souffle that we detached off of our Chocolala mode, and then we can special summon our Message Gelato. Because we control Beast-type Madolche, we can summon out Message Gelato, search the Knights, or whatever Madolche spell trap you want, and by rank 4 and Glass Souffle. He goes Blue Sky. He cannot chain Purple Nightfall to this. There is no dice. Even still, you can get the search. It's no longer in the column. But he can't do that anyway. Now he summons Ibly to our field. Uh-oh, right? Searches his secret. And now we take the hit. He attacks for, I have no idea why, maybe he thinks I don't know. End phase, we're going to shuffle both of his Mech Knights in the deck, so now he has no secrets target. Cosmic Skills Cone, he ends up hitting his secrets. He compulses very early, hits my Chocolala mode. Now we shuffle 2 back in the deck. We're going to link out Seably into Disciple. We're going to normal summon Hoot, go into Pudding Cess, and now we make a very big rain play here, so pay attention. Now we summon out Pudding Cess. Pudding Cess, I forgot to bring up, has one more effect. And that's when she battles an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, you can non-target destroy a card in the field. Now, and she also gets 100 attack when you have no monsters in your grave. We're gonna go swing in, and after damage calculation, he has no chance to train his Purple Nightfall, A, because it's a damage step, and then B, because, you know, if we pop it non-targeting, so no chance to target chain there. And then we have lethal, and that is it. Well, not lethal, but we put him in his spot. He has no open Mech Knight columns, and we put him in a really bad spot. Okay, this is the cog rank up. This is the last one I'm going to show you. Now that you know the combo, and if you need to know the combo, I will try my best to put in, like, a timestamp so you can keep going back to the words that I say. And if you're interested in learning this duel for Master Duel, I'll link you the video for Master Duel as well, so if you want to play this in Master Duel. Alright, so we activate Mallet. Unfortunately, we see nothing here, so we're Prage. We draw Madolche. Madolche will go ahead and add Madolche. I'm going to speed through this combo. Special the Pending Source, special the Pudding Cess, detach, like I said before. Go in the Chocos, shuffle that back in the deck. Detach, summon the Hoot, banish, special summon the Message Gelato, search the Knights, and we're going to exceed and set. Now, he goes in, activates, adds Fleetfoot Scout to his hand. Fleetfoot Scout will go 800 life. He's going to add his Monolith. Now Monolith will go, activate the Driver. Driver pops, gets a Metaphor's Fusion. Now he goes Painful Decision, and it will be a Painful Decision. He activates. Pendulum summons for 3, including Rescue Rabbit. Now, I want to pause here when he goes into Meteorology. Now, naturally you would think, use Teacher, bounce in these 2 cards, right? Turn off his Meteorology, because now he has no 2 targets in the grave, and he doesn't get to draw it. Normally you'd be right. However, in this situation, you got to remember, once we detach off Teacher, our Knights isn't live anymore, because we have a monster in our grave. So we can't do that. So that's why we wait him out. So he does bounce the back row. Goes Rescue Rabbit, summons for 2, activates Steel in to pop to get his Metaphor's Fusion, and he's going to make an Orichalc. Now at this point, we trigger our effect of Classic Play. Once he targets, once we are able to shuffle back, not once he targets. We chain our effect there, so that way we can shuffle in his Metaphor's Fusion. And note how we also put back our Message Gelato. That's very important. So now Message Gelato can search us our Chateau. Now he goes Pendulum Change, and now he has to get to his full Metaphor's Fusion.
I set the pendulum. I activate a pendulum effect. I'll set a card.
Sets his full Metaphors. Goes Mithrilium. Attack. Attack. Now we activate Hoot. That goes back to the deck, and everything back in the deck, and we still keep on our Chocolala mode. Now we're going to Cosmic. We rip Cosmic, so we get immediate switcheroo. Goes full Metaphor's Fusion, brings out his Althea. This is very important. This is where I want to bring this up to you. Sorry about that. Alright. So now, we are going to go Madolche, get back to Petting, and we can do this again. How? Because we have no monsters in grave. So Petting was special. Special summon out the Pudding Cess. We're going to rank up the glass. Now, I'm going to pause here. In this situation, he has a steal. You recognize that. He also has a pop. Now, how do we win in this situation? Well, what we're going to do, we do end up topping attack, but I'm going to show you something. Before Chalice even comes here. We're going to, my plan initially was to activate this to force him on Chocolala mode. So what happens is we can make Chocolate mode. It's a very big rate, unaffected by monster effects. Now, in that scenario, after that, he can no longer steal our Chocolate mode. So this was my initial plan. It does set us a little back, but it gives us a fighting chance. However, that means we can clear his monster, leaving him with just his Alka-East. But we do end up finding Chalice, which you're gonna see here, which solidifies the rank up. Go into another Choco, rank it up, activate Forbidden Chalice. We're gonna negate Alk. Swing over. Now, very important, you want to attack with the one that's not uninfected first. And the reason why is because at that point, if we swing with this first, then he has no choice but to pop this. So he's going to have to let me, my Madolche. He has no choice to let me pop Madolche. Because otherwise we get lethal otherwise. So we leave 2 3k meters on the field for him to deal with. Now he goes Bismugear, and that is game. He has no follow-up. So we got Max. Alright, so if you have any questions, message me below, comment below, follow me on the next Twitch stream. I'm going to be climbing my brother Chopper's account. We're going to be climbing something to max. I don't know what it is yet. Might be Vendread, I don't know. We'll see. However, I will say this much, okay? If you have any questions, I got top 16 in main phase the day Madolche came out. I got top 8 in Master Duel DLE tournament with Madolche, and I also just got Max with today. So if you have any questions at any of the combos, please stop by my stream. I'll leave the link in the description below. You can also comment below on this YouTube video. I'd be happy to answer all your questions. Until next time, your boy Sean Matrai signing out. Peace.